Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. Today I am coming to you guys with a dash cam review. So for some of my subscribers who aren't into a dash cam review, I'll catch you guys in the next video. But the reason why I wanted to do this video is because, well, about a month ago I had a guy pull a gun on me on the highway. And interesting enough, I was actually in the process of testing another dash cam that I will not be reviewing on this channel out of respect to the company who sent it to me, because it really was absolutely horrible and I would have nothing good to say about it. When that happened, I decided that I was not going to recommend that dash cam to anybody because the footage that I got was so horrendous. So I started looking for the best dash cam that I could find on the market, and I can assure you, after a few weeks of driving around with this dash cam here, this Thinkware U1000 dash cam bundle with the rear camera also is by far the best dash cam that you can get on the market today. So I'm going to go ahead here and pump some gas, and I will get back into the review from there. So not only is you know, that situation with the gun something that you want to capture on video, I also had a situation a couple years ago where ice blew off a truck and smashed, well, this truck, and I was running a GoPro in the window at the time. Running a GoPro, sure, it's fine. The video quality is absolutely fantastic, but you don't have the ability to loop over recordings, so you end up having to constantly have to reformat that card, and if you leave it in the windshield and somebody sees a GoPro, you're certainly a target for theft. There's a lot of downfalls to the GoPro thing. The other part too is the heat. GoPros do not like heat. As it's sitting in the sun in a windshield, they would overheat. So that wasn't really ideal. So when Thinkware sent out this camera, or they told me they were going to send this camera out, I actually ordered a Garmin 66W, which is another, call it a better dash cam than the one that was sent out to me, because I wanted to compare this Thinkware to another good dash cam, basically. So the 66W has a 180-degree field of view, and I quickly learned that that was excessive. You don't need that much field of view, because what happens is it fisheyes, and in the process, that fisheye kind of pushes everything out further, and you lose quality. So as you can see on the Thinkware right now, I can make out this license plate directly in front of me, and that's because the Thinkware has a 150-degree field of view, brings everything a little bit closer to you. So this Thinkware does shoot at 4K at 30 FPS, which is great for image density, but I prefer to actually downsize to 2K and lose a little bit of image density for 60 FPS, because if something were to happen at a high speed, 60 FPS is going to allow you to slow it down further. In that situation where I had a gun drawn on me, to really be able to go frame by frame to get the best image possible in the case of an accident. So I do recommend personally downsizing to 2K. And then the rear camera is 2K at 30 FPS for just incredible rear quality like no other. So this thing is crazy. This Thinkware dash cam comes with the Sony Starvis 8.42 megapixel sensor. What does that mean? Probably not a whole lot to anybody, other than the fact that this is an industrial image sensor, and it runs an operating temperature up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and it can also be stored up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, which is crucial here in Arizona as I battle the heat. Pricing for the U1000 is $399 for the front camera only, and then $499 for the front and rear. And what you get with the front and rear, which is again the bundle that I was sent by Thinkware, it gives you the rear camera, but it also gives you the circular polarizing filter for the front camera, and it also gives you the hard wiring kit, which is a pretty big plus. I'm going to refer you guys over to a video on a channel called Dial Too Fast that shows how crazy you can get with this camera setup. I might do it in the future. Right now, this is just plugged into the cigarette lighter, and it turns on with the ignition.
Continuous recording will now start.
It's actually, I have it wired into the fuse box. I didn't do a video on that because I'm very leery about making my own setup and then sharing it on YouTube and then finding out somebody who was unqualified roasted the electronics on their vehicle. So if it's something you want to do, you either know how to do it or you don't, and I'll leave it at that. So again, go to that Dial Too Fast video and watch how crazy you can get with the radar sensor, which I do have. I bought that separate, so I'll probably hook it up at some point. But you can use this camera as a camera that runs even when the vehicle is parked, and it can run on motion sensors and record any sort of impacts and capture things like parking lot damage. I park in my driveway, and then at work I'm parked in a large parking lot that doesn't get a lot of travel, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, night vision on this camera is fantastic. One thing I will say, when I recorded my night vision footage that you're watching here, I actually had a smudge on my windshield that must have been like a handprint from installing it. I couldn't see it, and you don't see it during the daytime, but it was something that I just didn't capture when I was, or notice when I was recording. But you can see at nighttime, you still have incredible detail. The low light rendering on this camera is really, really good. It really shows that sensor is incredibly powerful. You may not be able to see it at nighttime, but during the day, you can make these license plates out from incredibly far away. I think this Thinkware U1000 is not only the best dash cam on the market, but very likely going to be the best dash cam on the market for a long time, until somebody else catches up with the form factor they have here. Another thing that I'm really, really happy with on this setup is how low it tucks up to the windshield. I do use a sunshade, and having a camera that just drops down off the windshield really gets in the way of being able to do that. So the fact that this one is tucked up real tight to the windshield, it really just keeps it up out of the way, which is fantastic. The other option you have is you can hit this record button. I'm not sure if you can hear it over the air conditioning blowing over the GoPro to keep that cool right now, but it says manual recording will start. And what it does is that records 1 minute of video. From the time you hit that button, it will start recording 10 seconds from before you hit the button to 50 seconds afterwards, and capture an entire minute of content and put it into that folder for you to go and review later. So if something happens that you want to capture, you don't have to then go and, you know, browse through a million different video files. You can kind of isolate one incident. That is very nice. So I'm going to get back to the house so I can show you guys the app. The app is really, really quite incredible. It's another part of this package that you can tell they really missed nothing when it came to design on this thing. So let's go ahead and jump back to the house.
Connect to a Wi-Fi network whose name starts with Thinkware.
So I will do that.
Connected to a smartphone.
When you open the app, it recognizes that it's connected to a smartphone. So you get this live view, which you can go into, and then it will, actually a real nice feature is when you set this thing up, it will actually give you guidance lines to line it up on your hood, which is very nice to get it centered up appropriately. And then you also get the same thing with the rear, which I actually adjusted it differently because with a pickup truck, it changes things a little bit. So that is the rear view. So I'll just run through some of the settings that I find notable. I'm not gonna go through and read this like an owner's manual. Memory card settings, you can format the card. You can actually change so it will not overwrite some of the videos, which some people may prefer to do that. I just let it overwrite everything. I have a 128 gig card that I put in there, so plenty of video storage. The camera settings, this is where I was saying the QHD 2K 60 FPS for the front camera and 30 FPS for the rear, which is what I prefer to have a higher frame rate out of the front. There is battery protection, so if you were to wire this into your vehicle to do the parking notifications, you can actually adjust the voltage of when it will turn itself off, which is also very nice. Road safety settings, there are some lane departure warnings and all that stuff. I turned all that off. I don't like too much beeping on the anything, to be honest with you. One thing I find with lane departure warnings on devices that are attached to the windshield is that after a while you start ignoring those beeps. You almost don't even hear them anymore. So I just turn all that stuff off. Not a setting that I'm looking for, but it is there for somebody else who might be interested in that. Now, the most impressive, by far, thing that I have noticed with this is that you can change the Wi-Fi to 5 gigahertz. We'll go into one of these continuous incidents. If I want to save this file to my phone, the speed of which it does this is ridiculous. Download. Okay. This is not anything that I've sped up. This is a 2K video transferred, done, export, save it to my album, and now it's in my photos album. The speed that it makes that transfer is way faster than a GoPro, way faster than anything else I've ever seen before. So that is a very nice feature if you want to be able to just pull files off of your camera really quickly. So with that being said, I'm going to jump in the studio. So to wrap this review up, I just want you guys to understand that I don't recommend things lightly. If you look through my comments on my channel, you won't find anybody that's saying that I steered them wrong with any sort of products that I've reviewed. This Thinkware U1000 is really one of the most impressive pieces of technology that I've actually tested on this channel that has left me the most surprised. It's really underwhelming in the world of dash cams. There's a lot of questionable technology out there and really just bad image sensors and all that. And this Thinkware just knocks it out of the park. It's something that I couldn't recommend enough. With that being said, this review, again, is not meant to be spec heavy so much as it is experience. And I've been running this for a few weeks now, and I'm happy to say that after a couple weeks, I really can't find anything wrong with this thing. I mean, just even the fact that I can easily just pop it off with the quick disconnect here and bring it in here to shoot the tail end of this video is really nice. So if I decide to start exporting a ton of video, I can just take this thing right off the dash, pull out the SD card, and throw it in the computer and offload footage that way too. So just a very, very nice package here. So thank you very much, Thinkware, for sending this review unit out. I'm really happy with it, and I will keep this in my truck for as long as I possibly can. It's really an incredible piece of equipment. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'll check you guys next time.